Welcome back to my garage. This is my mini bike. I figured I should do a little walkthrough. The frame is mostly homemade. It was a roof rack for a Volkswagen and I turned it into this. The swing is from Magnum X, kid's dirt bike. The wheels are also from the Poop. Two rear wheels, because I liked to have the fat tire on the front. Handlebars are from Poop Maxi. Front fork is also Poop. It's from Poop Hero. The engine is from a snowblower. It's an 11 horsepower Briggs & Stratton flathead, so it's kind of old school. The fuel tank is from a Hercules moped. Not sure if there's much more to say about it. So it should have around 11 horsepower now, but it's too slow. Or it's not too slow. I've had it up to around 95 kilometers per hour. I think that's around 57, 58 miles per hour. But that was really sketchy, so I'm not looking for more speed, but could do with a little more acceleration. So on the crankshaft I have this Comet 30 series. I just took the cover off to see what it looks like, and there's quite a bit of belt dust in here, so I'm not sure if this is up for 11 horsepower, and hopefully there's gonna be a lot more horsepower than 11. But anyway, so this is a Chinese copy of the Comet 30 series clutches. I think they are around 75 or 80 bucks or something on eBay. So this drives a jack shaft, and then from the jack shaft it's a regular chain to the rear wheel. So I think for starters I'm going to gear it down a bit, because that will give me some acceleration, because I really don't need the top speed that it has right now. So the engine, it's completely stock at the moment, with two exceptions. I removed the governor that controls the RPM on when it's on a snowblower or a lawnmower or whatever. Added this open exhaust, and this carb, I think it's 28mm or something, 26 maybe. So those are the only real performance mods that I've done to the engine. I just wanted to see if it was working at all, and it seems to be working fine, but of course I want more power. So to fix the performance issues, first of all, going to change the gearing, gear it down a little bit, because I don't really need the top speed, I just want more acceleration. So that's a start. After that, going to do some porting, because the stock porting is horrible. I also want to improve the throttle response a bit, so I'm going to see if I can find a lighter flywheel, or maybe make one. And I'm going to try and remove the balance shafts, see what that does, because they weigh a lot too, and not helping the throttle response. Because everything is so heavy, it takes a while to come up to revs. Another thing, this is a spare camshaft that I have. This is the intake and this is the exhaust cam. I'm going to try and modify this cam. I think there's room for a little more lift. I think it's 6.5mm now, stock. Maybe while I'm at it, lighten this gear a little bit, because it's solid gear, doesn't need to be, and doesn't help the throttle response either. And then here is the big change. This is a smoke pump for a Ford Mustang or something, and I'm going to try and use this as a supercharger. I think I'm going to have to rev it quite a lot, maybe around 4 times more than the crank RPM to make any real boost, but should be a fun experiment. So yep, now we know the plan. So I think we should start with doing a baseline run. Now, I don't have a dyno yet that I can put this thing on, so we're gonna have to go with some other ways. It's mostly about the acceleration, so I think I'm going to measure the like a short distance, maybe measure the time it takes to do 100 meters from a standstill, or 0 to 60 kilometers per hour, or something like that. So for that I have my my super GPS. It's a Garmin Glow, and then I have an app for it on my phone called Race Chrono. And this GPS, it's really accurate, a lot more accurate than the standard phone ones, because it uses 2 different satellite networks, and it updates up to 10 times per second. Sometimes it's 5, but it seems normally it's around 8 times per second, so that's probably enough accuracy for now. So yeah, let's go do the baseline performance benchmark thingy. Okay, so we're back inside from the test ride. Here and here you can see my 2 runs that I did. So I think, looking at this, 0 to 60 is a pretty good benchmark. Here is the 60 kilometers per hour line. You can see here I started at 341.3 seconds. And we reached 60 at 346.9. So that is 5.6 seconds on the first run. Check the second one. So that's 5.7 seconds. So the 0 to 60 kilometers per hour is somewhere, let's take the average, or somewhere around 5.6, 5.7 seconds. So yep, 5.6 seconds is the time to beat. Okay, so first order of business is to gear it down a little bit, because I don't really want the top speed, I just want more acceleration. So this is the gear that was on it. It's 37T. The problem is the front gear, it's only 10 teeth, and I'm pretty sure it won't fit any smaller gears on the shaft, so I have to gear by putting on a larger rear sprocket. I don't have any that will fit. This one fits, but it's smaller, so that doesn't help much. But then I started looking around on my shelves, and I found this gear. So this one is 37 teeth, this one is 45. So that should give me a nice change should make a pretty big difference in acceleration. Now the problem is this obviously is not going to fit on the hub on the rear wheel. So my plan now is I have this worn out gear, which is 34. I'm going to use this as a flange to mount this gear. I will cut off the teeth and put it up in the lathe and turn it into a little adapter for the larger gear. So yeah, let me cut the teeth off on this thing and then put it up on the lathe and make it nice and smooth again. There we go. Saves a little work on the lathe, but of course it doesn't fit. My camera ran out of battery, so unfortunately missed all of that. But this is what the old gear ended up like. This is the new gear. This is for Maxi, and these are available in all kinds of sizes. So this is going to be like an adapter. So I have a little edge here that will slip into the center. So now all I need to do is drill some holes, and then I can put it back on. It's going to have a slightly different offset as before, but that's okay because I can move the sprocket on the jack shaft, so that's not a problem. This is what the mandrel ended up looking like that I was making when the battery died, so I'm going to use it again to mount this stuff in the vise. So this slips into the hole there. Then I just clamp it down. Okay, there we go. All holes are in. Okay, that's on. I'm only using 3 bolts because I think that's plenty. But really it's because I was out of washers. This is always fun. M7 bolts. Why? Okay, now let me go get the chain. I need a longer chain, of course. I went with the new chain. Looks pretty good. Perfect. I think we're good for a test ride. Okay, so we have some new data here. This one was the best run of the three. We have 60 kilometers per hour here. So as you can see, it's just over 5 seconds, which is a nice improvement from before, because then it was around 5.6 seconds. So the gearing really paid off. I actually wrote a little program to analyze the data properly, automatically. And this is before with 1037 gearing. I did 2 runs then, and 0 to 60 kilometers was 5.59 and 5.56, so that's an average of 5.57 and a half. I also checked 10 to 60 to get the time with like a rolling start. That was exactly 5 seconds on both runs then. And here is the data from the latest run. I did 3 runs, so I took the 2 best runs, because they were quite different actually. I think it's because the road is so wet and it's different amounts of grip, and it's not really rolling all that easy depending on how wet and soft the road is. Anyway, the best run that I just showed you on my phone was 5.08. The run before that was 5.40, that's an average of 5.24. That's 3 and something tenths better than before. If we look at only look at the best run, it's almost half a second faster, so definitely improved. 10 to 60 also improved, not as much, but still with around 2.5–3 tenths of a second. So yep, pretty satisfied with that gearing change. Now the real tuning can begin, but that's gonna be next episode. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.